Hello everyone, welcome to another video. To this video we're going to go through the coordinate geometry, which is chapter 4 in the 3E curriculum, and this is the first of the reality check. That's why I call it 4A. Okay, so we have a few skills here. So skill number 1 is definitely to use this two formula, which is the gradient formula and the length of 2 points called the line segment. So it's the length of the line segment. So these two are not given during exams, so you got to memorize it. Okay, so let's go through the very first and the so-called easiest version. You can see that I give you point 1, point 2, right, P and Q, and then I'm just asking you to find the length of P and Q and the gradient of P and Q. So this is a direct usage of these two formula. Okay, so I do the length first over here, length. So you can see that I'm using this formula here. So how to read this is x minus x, y minus y. Then you square them and you plus them together. So the important thing is you can see my own notes over here. You can start with either points. You can start with this or this, it doesn't matter, as long as you always start with the same point. Okay, so to illustrate, you can see that I have the formula here. So it's x minus x, that's why it's 7 minus 3, and then I start here again, 4 minus 1, so it's 4 minus 1. Then of course you can see that sometimes you're tempted to use calculator straight away, type this. I'm not so for this idea. I like to simplify this. So you can see that 7 minus 3 is obviously 4. I'm just going to write 4 square, and then here is 3 square, and even then I put 16 over here. Remember, square is 3 square is 9, and then I press calculator and get 5. So it's safer to actually count this yourself, since it's just simple numbers, right? I like to count this myself. Then for the gradient over here, I'm just going to use this gradient, right? So it's y minus y divided by x minus x. So it's very simple. I have the y minus y, which comes from here. Again, I'm starting from this point again, so it's 4 minus 1 divided by 7 minus 3. You can see that the hand movement is useful. Okay, so same thing here. I'm going to simplify it myself, so it's 3 over 4. That's all. So when it comes to this one, the level 2 version, which is slightly harder, in this case it's not much harder because this is just have negative numbers. So instead of nice numbers like this, all positive, right? The reality of life is it's not going to be so nice. It's going to be mixed with negative numbers. So in this case, I like to do this. You can see that I'm still using the same formula, but what you notice is I'm putting it in brackets. So I write out the so-called shape of the formula, and then in one shot, I put in all the numbers. So in this case, you can see that if you go back to the formula, it's x minus x, right? Y minus y. So once I have this, I can figure it out quite fast. Let's say I start with this, x minus x. So it's minus 4 here, minus 1. You see, I'm just reading off the number. I'm not thinking in my mind, is it plus or minus? I don't need to waste time doing that. So again, I start with here, so it's 7 and minus 8. So it's 7 minus 8. So I'm filling up the numbers without thinking. And then I go and look at this number. I figure out it's minus 5, 15. I press the calculator and I got it done. So for the gradient, it's the same issue here. You see, have the brackets, then fill in the numbers. So it will be 7 minus 8. So without even looking, I'm just writing it brainlessly. Minus 4, 1. Minus 4, 1. And then at this point, I'm start looking and I'm simplifying and finding the answer. So this is a general tactic that you need to have, because if you make a mistake here, usually the whole question is gone. Okay, so this is our level 2. So when it comes to level 3, it's still the same skill. We are looking at the typical so-called difficult exam question. Now, not every single question in exam is difficult. So if we choose to make this topic the difficult one, it will be like this, a word problem, where it requires you to work backwards. Okay, so in this case, you can see that the gradient of a line joining these 2 points is minus 3. So in English, this is just gradient is minus 3. So here, right? So I need to form the equation. So what is the gradient formula? It's just over here, right? So bracket minus bracket over bracket minus bracket, and equal to minus 3. So if you're watching this video, you're probably your math is probably not very good. So I like to write negative 3 over 1. Okay, so I'm going to now put in numbers. So I want to do y minus y, right? So I won't start here. I like to start with the h, which is the unknown. So it's h minus 9. So h minus 9. And I start here again, minus 3, 4. Minus 3, 4. And then I'm going to simplify this to get here. I'm going to cross multiply. This is where the 1 becomes useful, right? Because it's obviously that it's going to go up, it's going to go up, and so on. And I solve for h. Okay. So another question that requires you to work backwards, this is even harder because of the term here, collinear. Collinear simply means over here, the 3 points are on a straight line. So what is the implication is that the gradient of, let's say, AB and BC, or maybe AB and AC, they are all the same because it's on the same single line. So their gradients are the same. So you can see that my so-called formula or equation will be this. Gradient of AB is equal to gradient of BC. You can see that there's some m's here. So these are the unknowns. So since we have gradient equal gradient, you can see that the shape of the equation is the same, right? Y minus y over x minus x equal to y minus y over x minus x. So now the question is, what are the numbers? So with this note over here is AB, right? So it's this 2 point. I can choose to start at any point. So I choose to start this one, minus 9 minus 18, so minus 9 minus 18, and I start here again, 2m. So the next point on the right side will be BC, so it's this 2 point. I will start with this m, so it's m and minus 9, m minus 9, 4 and 2, 4 and 2. Once I've put this all in, I'm just simplifying. I cross multiply to get this. I expand this bracket to get this. I shift everything to one side to get this. And that's where you need to learn how to solve, because I need to solve, right? So I need to factorize this into 2 brackets. So I take the m out. I got 2 brackets. So when 2 brackets times each other equals 0, this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. That's how I get the answer. So hope you have learned something from this video. Thank you and bye-bye.